Hello, my little recusants, and welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. We are picking up where we left off with Vaan, the little liar, who is after finding out about a way to sneak into the palace. So we see X marks the spot, and we're going to just run over there now in 2 seconds. So just talk to the guy and he'll pick the lock and you'll eventually find yourself in the sewers, basically. So you get a nice little donation of potions and eye drops, which is obviously quite nice. And so obviously darkness is something that we should be a little bit concerned on. But, you know, for the most part, we're going to be pretty fine going forward. So we're just going to hunt a few little rats as we go along here. And as you can see in the license board, we're just a few points off getting a massive, well not a few, one. We're literally 1 point away from getting a massive boost to our hit points. We're currently on 197. But if we spend 40 license points, we're able to get, you know, a really big boost to our HP. So we're just gonna kill this rat and see how we get on. So with that 12 XP and one more license point, we're going to just hop over to the license board and activate the HP plus 110. And now with our HP well over 300, we're going to continue on with the little adventure. Now, what can be quite handy is that when you have a number of enemies that are the same type, killing them without, you know, killing any other different type of enemy generates a chain. And the higher a chain of creatures there are, the better chances we have for loot drops. So just running a little bit of extra speed just to make this a little bit quicker. But it's not very complicated, it's just a bit of a maze, but just stick to finishing off the rats. And when you come across bats, avoid them. But right now, after doing enough attacks, we get the Assault Striker achievement. So, doing the attack command, we were never going to knock at it, in fairness, you know? But there's similar achievements for casting a magic spell a number of times, using techniques like steal, things like that. They make up the more simple versions of the achievement list. So as you can see here, we have the bat enemy. So we currently have a 9 chain. If we defeat the bat, we'll end up breaking the chain. But for now, we're just going to ignore the bat because there are plenty of other rats here that we can just continue our chain. But it is a persistent little fellow. It just keeps following us all the way around. And eventually we come across these 2 rats. But the bat is like still following. And I'm like, oh my god, just stop being so obsessed with me. Oh my god. So pop a potion. And that'll bring us basically up to fall. And it is gas how, like, I suppose, differently to, like, the sphere grid, the license board, at least in this regard, can literally let you, like, just double your hit points. But what's interesting, I think, about the Zodiac Age is that, a bit like in Final Fantasy 1, your characters just gain levels and gain stat improvements with those levels. It's just the license board allows you to augment that growth and that development, you know? And what's interesting as well is the fact that for Vaughn's weapon, the dagger, it actually scales off his speed stat, which, like, there's not exactly a, you know, license on the license board that allows him to increase speed necessarily, but each of the characters have like a different, you know, level scaling depending on what level they are, like how their stats kind of grow and develop, and Vaughn is one of the more speedy characters, you know? And so as you can see, the more higher up in the chain we're getting like multiples of the drops, but at this point I'm like, there are, you know, interesting fish enemies and stuff to fight, so we're gonna just mix it up a bit. And with that, you know, level 5. So even if you weren't using the license board, you could still get stronger by leveling up, you know? Or likewise, you could not level up at all, but because of all the different licenses for bonuses to health and stuff, you could get a lot more powerful even at just at level 1, you know? But the dagger scales off speed, and like swords scale off your strength, obviously. And then other weapons like guns, they ignore defense. That's kind of their little gimmick. Whereas other things like axes and bombs, they're more on like random variables. But bows also interact with your speed, so you kind of want your speedier characters to be wielding those weapons just as like a benefit. And we're after picking up a javelin there, but we don't have anybody to wield a javelin yet. But, you know, we are going to be using all 12 of the job classes, so in time, you know, we're not going to have situations like this where equipment is essentially useless because no character can wield it. And as we go up here, we're going to now enter the basement of the Rabanaster Palace. So we can just have a quick look, and, you know, I realistically probably could have cut all those out, but I thought it'd be nice just to discuss with you guys the different weapons and, you know, what we're kind of going to be focusing on. And for the most part, like, getting certain weapons is grand, but like for a lot of the game, like, having the license for a bunch of weapons you're never going to use for ages is much less immediately useful than, you know, having more strength or having more magic potency or having more health, you know? So it just all depends on how you want to develop. But the graphics are amazing, and how this is in any way stealthy, I do not know. They're literally riding a motorbike through the halls of a castle. But we have some people giving very much protagonist energy, so they're probably going to join our little merry band. So now that we're in the Royal Palace of Rabanaster, we can collect this special treasure chest. Treasure chests like these typically always have maps. And so we've now a map, and then the map of the area is now completed from collecting that. We can make a quick little save. Then we're going to progress through the little maze of puzzles. So going through those double doors, we're gonna just have to do a little bit of subterfuge. And you can collect a couple of little chests, but the reality is they've basically shoved all of the, like, workers down into the basement so they're not disturbing the royal dinner party. So they're basically guarding the way up. And this is the most nonsensical stealth maneuver going. Like, even when I tried to do a more stealthy maneuver, the game's like, no, what are you doing? Don't do that. This is so silly. When you try and approach the guards, like, you have to wait here until we know what to do with you, peasant. Then the guy's like, oh, you can just call him over here and I can pretend that I was talking to him. But, like, I suppose maybe the helmet, he, like, has no peripheral vision. I'm not really sure. But essentially, the man is, like, the worst guard going because someone just runs slightly to the left of him. And, you know, is able to completely, like, ignore his post. It's so stupid. But yeah, you can shout to... And I was thinking, oh, I have to run around the column. Because that would make sense. And it's like, no, actually just run in front of his... Like, run in front of his face. And just run by him. You know? So stupid. Anyway. The music is lovely. But essentially... What we have to do is find the lion's crest and activate it and then go to the hidden passage. And we've used that fun mechanic of shouting at the guards. So, the sunstone's strength is to light the clouded way. Once in the palace, you'll find the signet tile and give it the sun's power, and then you'll find your way. And so we have our little image there, and it's of a lion. So we have to look for the lion.
Hey, Buckethead.
Signet. And so there's the hawk signet there. So this horizontal row is not the one we want. But when you yell, the guards come running. But then they get tired. It's like too much cardio for them. And they're like, oh my god, we're absolutely like shattered. Cannot possibly run anymore. Oh my goodness. But we don't want that row, so then we're going to have to try and check out this row and see if this one has the lion on it. Which it does. So, use the crescent stone. And with our successful activation, this particular wall is now glowing with a green light.
Over here!
So we basically now have to move all the guards around so we can get a clear shot to that hidden passageway. So we're just going to move the guards, and all you have to do is just be mindful of which one has the guards like at a certain position. But once you're able to run completely across, that's all you need, like. So we're going to drag these guys down again. And then we can loop around this side. There should be nobody. And now do we just have a clear run? Not quite. And you see, unfortunately, we don't see the little green light. So that is not the one we wanted. It's actually the one that this guy is standing by. So we in fact have to drag all these fellas the other way. But all we need to do is get that one guy just to move. Yeah, it's just, I'm just like sitting here being like, oh,
hey,
what way do I want to do this? So, call the guards because we're now going to need the other direction free. So we're always keeping in mind bottom row is, you know, our going across way.
Over here.
And now we're gonna pull these guards down. And then run across. Then pull them down this way.
Hey, Buckethead.
But I get so angry at Vaan because I feel like Penelo is like genuinely such a good friend to him. And he's just pulling this bullshittery. Like, at any point he could have been captured by the guards. He could end up in jail. And like, then where would Penelo be? She'd like just be happy, like, you know, well, I suppose he wouldn't have a story. But you know, it's just, it's really, it isn't a good vibe, you know?
Hey, Buckethead.
And then with that guy being now pulled down, we're gonna look at the map and see that the now top area is completely free for us to ski-daddle down. And we just have to look out for that little green light, and there it is. Puzzle complete. But I am really looking forward to getting more party members, having more, you know, chances to level up, because as much as Vaan is our little badass dagger-wielding thiefy boy, you know, we could always use with more. So, that takes care of the secret passage. And now he's locked in. And now we have a suspicious looking wall. There is more to this wall than meets the eye, but what is it? And we just have to look for a switch. So one of these little things is a switch. And I saw the frickin', you know, notification pop up. But you have to be like specifically looking at it. There we go. Press the switch. And you hear a click and the door is open. And we have gotten our treasure, guys. So Vaan is clearly aiming to sell it for an airship. But what he's about to buy is in fact a whole heap of drama. Because we are about to find the MacGuffin of MacGuffins, and we are going to be whirlwinded on a crazy multi-hour, you know, multi-10-hour quest to like save the world and whatnot. But can we low-key talk about the similarities to Star Wars at the moment? Because this is giving very much Luke stumbling upon the Death Star plans, then running into a dashing sky pirate with his animalistic companion.
Who are you?
I play the leading man. Who else? Vaan the Magicite.
Now then, I'll take that.
Fran's
No, you
voice is
won't.
so
I
amazing.
found it, it's mine.
And then when I take it from you, it'll be mine.
Well, they got you there, Vaan. It's 2 against 1. And as soon as they look away,
Exit stage
he
right.
is gone. Oh, I love their
The gods do
banter.
not smile on us.
I like it better that way.
I love their dialogue. I love their banter. And we get the Goddess Magicite. It's actually quite an interesting little accessory, but we're not going to be worrying too much about it at the moment. But there seems to be a commotion in the palace. So we are just going to run up along our stairs and enter another beautiful cutscene. But yeah, I will discuss the further similarities to this game in Star Wars as we progress. But yeah, just checking that. In fact, I can't do anything with those 23 license points at the moment. But I am booking it with my ill-gotten goods. And there seems to be a challenge to the palace. And it is our job to get out of here unscathed.
What's going on?
You're freeze, eh? That's quite an entrance. Impeccable timing. If I didn't know better, I'd say they were waiting.
The graphics are just stunning. Oh my god.
Stop running!
Run, bitch! Run!
End of the line. You have something that belongs to me. Damn!
All this way!
Fran, let's move! Off with you.
Let go of me!
Keep this up and I will. What's going on, Fran?
I don't know, it's not heating me.
Don't have time for this.
I'm slipping!
Not good.
What happened? Our hover didn't just drop. It disappeared.
Ah, forget it. Even if we could fly, the Ifrit's playing with fire, and I'd rather not get burned. We'll go the old-fashioned way. Not many Viera where you come from, thief?
It's Vaan. Sorry.
Well, Fran is special in that she deigned to partner with a Hume.
Oh? Like a sky pirate that chooses to steal through the sewers.
Pirates? You're sky pirates? So you have an airship?
It's Balthier. Listen, thief, Vaan, if you ever want to see your home again, you'll do exactly as I say. Myself, Fran, and you, we're working together now. Understood?
Don't even think you're getting this.
The thought never crossed my mind.
Yes, they've joined the party. Our king and queen are here. But anyway, it's interesting that in lore, that cutscene totally makes sense because the Magicite that we have is actually, like when you equip it, it absorbs magical energy around it. So the characters, when they wield it as an accessory, their magic is set to 0 and they can't gain magic because the stone is absorbing it. And so that's why the hover crashed, because it was too near the Magicite and it literally cut off the power. So that's why little nerd kept taking off. They're giving us a tutorial on gambits, which is where we can basically program our partner's AI as well as our own AI to do certain activities and actions and abilities to very specific degrees, like to the point where it's like if the enemy has 100% HP, do this action. If they have 10% HP, do this action. If an ally, you know, is poisoned, use an antidote or cast, you know, Asuna or Poisona. If an ally is, you know, like it's kind of explaining here, it's currently saying ally any, but that'll just keep throwing a potion to any random ally for no reason. And it's like, that's a bit risky because then we'll just run out of potions. So you could then say, okay, if the ally like falls below 70% maybe. But as you say, when your max, when 100% is 300, 70 is not that low. So you might then want to move that to, you know, 50% say, or something like that. And again, you could even have it where if you know, like, you know, Penelo is going to be your white mage, it's like when her MP gets to low, you can specifically target like her to always have, or have an ether, or if, you know, if you're have a black mage character, you could just cast to always, whenever they don't have like faith, which boosts their magic damage, cast faith on this character whenever they don't have it on them, you know, the kind of way. So, yeah, it's basically just a really, really good in-depth system that I failed to, you know, get a good grasp on, because what I was trying to do for ages was, oh, I could get Vaan to steal from something when it has full health. He'll kind of start the combat with that and then, you know, attack. But I didn't have the gambit slots. I didn't have the, you know, the space and time for that. So, you know, we'll get there when we get there. But the real exciting thing is we get to finally have more party members, so we get to put together more license boards. So, I am very proud to announce our machinist and our archer. So, we're going to hop over to the licenses. And what's nice is that the characters have all the licenses you would have accumulated with the other characters. Same as with Penelo, you know. So, with 115 to spend, what are we going to spend it on? So, Balthier is our machinist. And Fran is our archer. What's nice is that Fran does come with like cure and certain other abilities just naturally in her set, which is quite nice. And let's get spending. So for Balthier, we're going to go for guns and some gambit slots. But what's nice is that since he has steel, and steel is actually on the mechanist path, you know, it has an active area. It has an active part further down the grid. But we're going to just get our accessory and then unlock a couple more gambit slots just so we have options, you know. But when it comes to the mages, that's when we want them to have the most gambits, so they have the most like automation with all their different abilities. But then when we go to Fran, we're going to just get her some bows and some nice passive abilities. So gaining MP when she takes damage and gaining MP when she deals damage. And then what we really want is swiftness. That's going to be awesome when we get that. But yeah, that's going to be this for this episode, guys. Sorry for the bit of a delay, but we're back at it again, guys. So listen, have a good one, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye bye.